So this is gonna be my day today. At least I'll stay cool. I am currently doing one final spin before hopping on the plane to Wisconsin. I'll see the IronMan village and all the other athletes. I might start feeling a little bit nervous, but for now, I'm just ready to go. IronMan Wisconsin 2022, baby. Let's kill it. Okay, so a little pre-Wisconsin Ironman gear rundown. Just the essential items for the actual triathlon. And you'll notice my bike is not here, and that's because I just dropped it off at Tri-Bike Transport. So they will be fortunately taking care of that for me. So starting here on the swim side, I have a few caps, a few goggles. These are a little tinted, so these are going to be nice for the early morning when the sun's going to be in my eyes. Pre-race caps, I've got my wetsuit here, as well as my heart rate monitor, so I will be wearing that in the water. Throwing this guy on, tri-suit over that, and then the wetsuit over that, and hopefully be flying through the water as I always do. And then I'm gonna pop out of the water. I'm gonna slam 2 of these. These are about 150 calories each, and just fill up as much as I can before jumping onto the bike. On the bike, I have this Mod Podge of items that I'm gonna have to figure out how to carry. And there's a good chance I'm not going to be carrying all of this. Obviously, I'm not going to be bringing this guy with me, but I've got Scratch that I'm going to shove into 2 bottles, as well as some precision hydration. So that's sodium, potassium, other electrolytes that I'm going to be throwing into a bottle as well. And then just a bunch of nutrition, and I'm going to see how much I actually need throughout the race. I'm going to need most of this stuff, and then I'll be picking up bottles on the way. This guy I'm going to slam right off of the bike, just to give myself a pretty good kick going into the run. And then I'll be carrying some salt along with me. And this stuff is pretty awesome. In here I've got spare tube, some extra CO2, and some extra bolts for my TT bars that are actually coming off. So I just needed to solve some loose bolt issues there. I've got my pedals, which you have to take off for the Tri-Bike Transport. I've got my shoes, and then I've got my helmet. And that pretty much sums up what I'm carrying for the bike. Obviously, I'm going to be just lathering myself in lube, so I don't have any chafing issues throughout the race. I've got some electrolytes, just in case I need them and just in case I run out of that salt. I've got some more bars, some more goos, and my new race shoes. I've got the endorphins and my race belt. And so that's pretty much all I need for the race, as well as a hat. I'll be bringing a hat representing F45, baby. And over here I've got the essentials, some shaving cream and some razors, because I'm going to be shaving all of this stuff. Cool, so just popped a squat at Cargo Coffee. They were wonderful. It was a fun little spot to eat a delicious BLT after hopping off the plane and checking into my really interesting hotel. I guess, what do I expect for booking 2-star? Triathlon on a budget, baby. Exploring a little bit of Madison. I think I'm gonna be walking up north from my hotel to get to the Capitol, and I'm just gonna look around a little bit. Humidity is definitely a little bit higher than Colorado, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be. So that is a definite plus. Kind of checking out the landscape here, understanding some of the hills, the infamous Madison hills, and kind of mentally planning out what it's going to be like to ride these, run up these. And nothing too intimidating yet, but gonna explore the town a little bit tonight, eat some good food, get some more work done, and continue to mentally prep for the challenging Sunday that is coming up. Still very excited.
So this is the start of, we're just about to start the climb. You think you're good here? You're not good. Out of crest. And then it kicks, it really takes it out of you right here at the end. Over here, Dave.
Good morning. It's race day. I am finishing up my bowl of oatmeal, chocolate chips, and bananas. 4:50 right now. Just about to head over to IronMan Village and drop off my bags. It's all kind of a blur right now. I'm supposed to swim, bike, and run today. One thing to note is it is completely pouring outside. So this is going to be my day today. At least I'll stay cool. So how did the race go? How was Ironman Wisconsin 2022? Well, it was cold, it was rainy, it was windy, and it was one excellent day. It was challenging. It was extremely challenging, and I've definitely never been that uncomfortable in my life. So just going over the race generally, we got up early, we checked in our bags, we went indoors, we tried to stay warm, we hopped in our wetsuits, we all went outside, and we stood in the rain for a solid, felt like eternity, but we stood there for probably 15 to 20 minutes. The most insane feeling, just feeling the adrenaline, feeling the cold, feeling your feet already going numb, and you haven't even started the race, and you're just dying to jump in the water. And so that's what we did, jumped in the water. The water was excellent, and the temperature could not have been better for the day. And so that hour 23 that it took me to get through the water, I know I'm a torpedo, what can I say? But the hour and 23 that I took to do that swim was probably the best hour 23 of that day. Jumped out of the water, ran up the spiral, put all my gear on, Fortunately was able to borrow a jacket from my coach. If I did not have that jacket, this race would have been a very different situation. And so jumped on the bike, and within 15 minutes, numb pretty much everywhere. My feet, my hands. My goal on the bike was push hard enough so that I can stay warm, but don't push too hard so that I burn out on the bike course, and then I've got nothing for the run. The strategy sort of worked. How Wisconsin works is it's just the entire time hills. And so I would warm up, get my heart rate up to 150, sometimes 160, going up the hill, hit the flats, push it a little bit, and then shoot down the hill, and instantly heart rate would drop. And so it was just a literal roller coaster of both the route that I was on the bike, as well as my heart rate. I really struggled to keep myself warm. And so the bike really became a huge mental challenge. And I'd say that's the biggest area that I need improvement, and that I was able to improve a little bit during this race, is just that mental stamina. Yes, a very long bike ride, which ended in a pop tire at mile 102. And when I popped my tire, I quickly realized that I did not have all of the components that I needed to replace it. I could not get the extension onto my new tube. Really silly mistake of me. I should have, figured there was something special I needed for that tube. But regardless, I got stuck. I got stuck for around 30 minutes at mile 102. My hands were just shaking. I was sitting there shivering. And then somebody came to my rescue. It was a guy that DNF'd because he didn't hit the second loop in time for the bike course. And so he was meandering back to base, saw that I was on the side of the road, and stopped. And he just so happened to have a perfect tube extension. He is the only reason that I finished that race, and so that was a miracle, to say the least. Shout out to that man. I didn't catch a name. It was far too cold to exchange any small talk, so in fact he gave me the tube, and he was like, dude, it's way too freaking cold, you're getting hypothermia, I'm leaving. Get yourself back as quick as you can. I was like, yes sir. So managed to get the tube on without any pinches, which was another miracle. Pumped it up with CO2 first try, a third miracle, and finished the last 10-12ish miles to get back very slowly, because that's when the wind really started hitting. And I remember being almost stood still on a hill, just getting hit with wind, and I was just thinking it was the end of my race. I was gonna get back and call it there, because I didn't know what my body was gonna do after being exposed to that much cold. So I ended up getting back to base, and right before I got back to base, I saw my family, and they were cheering me on, and then I saw my coach, and he was cheering me on, and I saw a bunch of athletes that were just still going no matter what. Ruthless, relentless forward motion. And so I drank some really hot water, defrosted my internals. I was like, you're getting to the end of this race no matter what, because you can't let all these guys down. And so that's what I did. I went out and I was like, I can walk this if I need to. I have enough time. I ran the fastest marathon I've ever run. I hit a 3-hour, 56-minute marathon. And the entire time I felt so good. And then obviously that night was just euphoric, and everything was painful, but everything was quite blissful at the same time. A very nice culmination of a very long year of training, of family and support, of coaches being there for me literally the whole time. My coach was there for the full 12-hour event, just chasing me. So yeah, that's how Wisconsin went. What an incredible experience. And obviously I'd like to recognize all of the people involved and impacted by 9/11, and it was honestly a really cool situation to be able to race on 9/11 and in a way remember what happened, go through some of my own suffering, and really just reflect on how short this life is. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Till next time.